Hi ladies! I think you might have noticed I have gone a bit crazy this holiday, and today I'm going even crazier because recently I've been bitten by the Daiso bug. I have had a lot of doubts in the past to try it before, but recently because I've watched a lot of Daiso makeup products video on YouTube, and I was like, hey, really intrigued to go and try it. So I bought some stuff, and I did that first Daiso makeup $10 challenge, and then after that I went back and bought some more stuff, and I discovered like even more like good things. So what I think I would like to do today is to kind of put together a starters kit, because I remembered when I was like 18 and I wanted to attend my prom. I actually went to buy my first set of makeup, and I distinctly remember buying from things like Elf. Like we had to order it in then, and it was quite hard because the international shipping was not so. I'm talking about nearly 8 years ago. And also I bought quite a lot of makeup from Face Shop, and I do distinctly remembering the foundation didn't fit me completely because it's like a Korean brand, and it's like it was really light, and yeah, and I bought some blue eyeshadow as well. So well, I spent a lot of money lah. Anyways, yeah, so but many of the products I actually ended up like throwing away, or I didn't use them. So for a young person who is like maybe starting to come into contact with makeup, but you don't want to spend a lot of money, I was thinking that there could be a combination of Daiso stuff that you could try and work with and play around and see what it feels like first to have like stuff on your face. So as you can see, I have some things because I have been testing out the Daiso makeup, and I must say they are actually okay for trying out. But just a word of caution, of course, if you have sensitive skin, you know it, then you will have to consult the ingredients list, or to consult, maybe you might want to spend a little extra money on a good base like for your foundation and stuff. And yeah, and to really just try out the product on maybe somewhere inconspicuous like on your hand before you do anything to your face. So just a caution, because I have a coolie skin, alright, which means that nothing happens to my skin, except maybe I'll get a pimple or something like that. So just take that in mind. So let's look at what we have in the kit, and later on I'll do like a very simple natural look, like not something like this, but a natural look. Alright, let's look at the kit now. So for the first item, of course, we have like a very simple makeup bag. This is from Daiso. I'm just gonna show the items and put them in there. So this is just a simple makeup bag. It has quite a large compartment if you look at it, and the zipper goes all the way to the bottom, so it's really easy to open it out and look for your makeup, and this should be enough to hold all your makeup. Now, the first thing I would say to get a face mist. So this is the collagen face mist from Daiso. Basically, it's kind of, face mist is kind of like a replacement for moisturizer. So what I have been actually using is a Face Shop face mist. Okay, this is the vitamin C face mist, but to be honest, I feel like there's no big difference, so any works. So the Daiso one is $2. They have the collagen type and the hyaluronic acid one. So I picked the collagen one. So this is good for, especially before you put on your makeup, just give it a spray. And also after putting your makeup, you can use this to set and to get rid of the powdery feeling if you happen to put too much powder on your face. So this will first go into the bag. Now the second thing, I believe a base is always good, and this Ever Belena stick foundation is actually quite good, and the good thing about it is that you can actually always double out your stick foundation as a concealer. So this works like this, and it has this roller at the bottom that you roll and the product will come out. Now, The issue with this is that actually it can get a little bit oily. Alright, can feel a little bit oily, so you definitely will need a good setting powder, or a lot of setting powder in that case. So this one you can really just spread it around with your hands, so there's no specific tool you need, and you can tap it in areas where you need some more coverage. So that will go into the bag. Now, so in order to set that, we have like a powder, and what more better if it is in a nice Anna Sui inspired case. Alright, this is just a simple, it's a foundation powder. Alright, it comes with like this nice soft cushion, and it has this is the color, I think, light ecru or something like that. And yeah, I mean, the thing about Daiso is it doesn't have a huge range of colors. But in this foundation, it has also some shiny beads, but they don't show up too much on the skin. I think it's really an okay setting. It's really okay for setting foundation, or to just use alone, as I'm going to use it later. So very handy, very compact, and you can bring this around and it doesn't look like cheap or anything. Now the next thing we have is a blusher. So I've shown this blusher in my last tutorial. I think it is really nice, and it works for everyone in the sense that you can get a warm blusher out of this or a cool blusher. So for the warm blusher, all you do is you use this coral part, and you will get a color that is warm, like a coral color. However, if you want a cooler blusher, a lavender-like one, so you can just take this lavender part and it will be a cool blusher. Otherwise, if you want everything, you just mix everything together, and that works for everyone. So I think this is a very versatile blusher in that it gives you both cool and warm tones, so everybody can use this. So the next thing that I would like to show, is the eyeshadow. So you never go wrong with a neutral color, kind of warm brown eyeshadow. You never go wrong. And this is a really pigmented eyeshadow. I mean, I used the other round one in the last tutorial, but after that I discovered this and I was shocked at how pigmented it is. So I'm just gonna swatch this, and to be honest, I'm not really digging too much into it, and look at the color. This is ridiculous. I don't know if there's some crazy chemicals in there giving me the colors, but this works, man. This is pigmented. So anything, just especially this brown, the white, okay, a little bit of gold, and you can always use the blue as your kind of like an eyeliner. This totally works. This is like, forget your naked palette, just get this, try it out first. If you really like it, then you can go on to purchase more makeup, but this is a good starting pack. Now the next thing I have is a very shocking find. It is a mascara. This is the Volume Up mascara. If you are looking for this at the store, look for the brown package. Okay, it looks like this. You will be able to see this tube in there, and this is incredible because, you know, it's a relatively easy to use mascara. It's not too clumpy, it's not too wet and difficult to use. I think the head is a good size, and that the formula separates your lashes and gives it a bit of length, but it's not crazy, but it does give you more definition for your eyelashes. I think this is fantastic. Now, next one, another eye product. This is a very this is an eyeliner. Okay, in the package they say that this eyeliner can be doubled as like a eyebrow pencil, but I'm not too sold on that. But however, this I like it because it has like this shape. Alright, it's like a boxy shape. So what happens is that you can always just push out against your eyelashes to give it a very natural look, and just push up each section of the eyelashes, and you'll be able to give your eyelashes more definition without looking quite crazy. So I think this is fantastic. fantastic. Smudges a little bit, but I think good enough. Now, the last one is a quite incredible find that I've got also. This is one of the slim lipsticks, and this is in the color, this color number 4, which is, I think it's cherry blossom or something like that. Okay, this is a very pretty pink color. Okay, very pigmented. This is pigmented and it doesn't, I mean, it will come off and anything. It's not like long wearing, but I think that for the formula, it's creamy, it's not too drying, it's pigmented. This is fantastic for $2. So that's all you need for your makeup bag. Alright, totally fits in there, all that you need, and you can literally live off this for 1 or 2 years. Alright ladies, so now I'm back. I've removed the makeup from my face. This is my bare face. I'm going to use only items from the kit, and I'm going to do a very natural look. So the first thing I would use is the collagen spray. Yeah, always prep your face because maybe if you're young, you're 18 or 19, you might not feel it, but at my age, I'm starting to feel the dryness, and it really appears when you want to powder, and if you have dry spots, it will just cling on. So this is really cheap, just spray it all over. Okay, however, one precaution, I once got this into my eyes and it's not pleasant, so probably that's not good for putting in your eyes. Alright, and once after you have given it a few minutes, you can also just block it a little bit to your face. At this point, you can apply an SPF if you want to, but for now, I'm not going to do that. Next thing I'm going to apply is the powder foundation. So if I'm going for a really natural look, I don't really want to use the stick foundation to make me look crazy. So I'm gonna just take a little bit of powder. I'm just gonna use the sponge. It's even better if you have a brush, but I'm trying to simulate like if I only had all these. So where you would like to start is maybe on your cheek. Okay, around the nose. Okay, can already see it taking away the redness around my nose, cheek. Okay, a lot of people have this thought that they must powder the craziness out of their T-zone, but actually if you are only using a powder foundation, you might not want to do that. Just after you have powdered your cheek, use the leftover, okay, and then powder your nose and T-zone. Right, because if you put too much, it's going to look, it's actually going to worsen the oiliness there. Okay, because the skin will feel dry and tend to produce even more oils. So actually, okay, there we go. And I might want a little bit more coverage for my under eye, so I'm just gonna put a tad more around there. Just look like I slept. Okay, so actually this foundation looks pretty nice. Okay, this is just a very light kind of coverage, it's not anything crazy happening. So this is, your base is done. Now, so the next thing you would want to do, okay, you can start working in with your eyeshadow. So as I said just now, just use a very natural brown. So what I'm going to do is first actually apply some white on my lids. Okay, just a little bit. This is very pigmented, so a little goes a long way. Just gonna apply the white color. Just starting from the front, but spread it towards the back. And that balances out any darkening. Okay, and then I'm just gonna use another finger and take a little bit, just a little bit of the other brown, and I'm gonna start at the end so that you kind of get this gradient from front to back, from white to like a brown color. So there you go. Push it into the crease. That's it. So that's just one eye. If there's too much going around crazy, use another finger, brush it away. So the other eye. Okay, I'm going to use a little bit of brown, tap it in. Okay, see if it balances out or I need a little bit more. Alright, done. So this is the eyes, quite natural finish. It just looks a little, it just gives you a little bit more dimension. So the next thing we are going to do is to kind of draw in the eyebrows. So I'm gonna use this eyeliner thing actually, but I'm gonna use it very light-handedly. Okay, first run through, and where you might want to start could be somewhere near the top. Just use soft strokes. I mean, I can see the strokes now, right? Then just run your fingers through it, and then there you go. Yeah, there you go. So what I'm gonna use is, for this eyeliner, I'm gonna just push at the end of my eyes, just push it at the bottom of the eyelashes, so that it gives me the illusion of fuller lashes without looking like I'm wearing eyeliner. So I'm just going to just use the long side of it. So that's all. Okay, just a little bit. Now the next thing I want to do is to put the mascara. Alright, give it some boom. Okay, always clean off the little tip of the mascara, just clean it off at the top. Okay? Okay, so if I was going for a more heavier look, I can always build out many layers, because my first look at the start of the video I actually put many layers of this mascara. I put like maybe 3. So but this is like a natural look. I just want it to look a bit fluffy, a bit longer, and so I'm just gonna put 1 layer and be happy with it. If I'm not happy, I can always add on. Well, okay, so for the next thing, blusher. Since this is like a brown look, I'm just going to use the coral color so that this looks a little bit more more summery, more warm. So I'm gonna take this coral and I'm gonna mix it with a little bit of this lighter pink, so that it gives it a little bit, make it look a little bit brighter. And I'm just gonna rub it in. Of course, you can always get a brush at Daiso and do this. And the brushes are $2 too, and they work fine. I used to own one of the brushes. Okay, and you can put a little bit on your nose bridge too if you want to have the look like, oh, you have been in the sun and you look like you have a little bit of sunburn. Not sure if you can see it in the video, but it does, the blush does show out. It's just in the video you might not see it. Alright, so the last thing I would want to do is to just put on a little bit of lipstick. So I'm going to go to this fantastic lipstick color, and what I'm gonna do is, since it's a natural, I'm just gonna dab it so that it doesn't have a very definite outside line. Just dabbing it and getting some color on there. It's really just to make it look undeliberate. Just mainly gonna dab it in the middle of the lips. And then for the outside corner, you can just kind of smudge it around a little bit. So that's all. That's the simple look. I think it's quite a wearable look. You can always wear it around. And to end off, you could always get the collagen and just spray as a fixing spray. Alright, so it can help you take away some of the powdery feeling. Just dab it again with the tissue paper. And you're set! You can go anywhere. I like my hairband today, so I'm not gonna remove it. But this is, I mean, it's an okay look for anywhere you want to go. And if you happen to want to like go to more formal occasions, of course you can amp up the look, give it really darker eyeshadows and eyeliners, and I think it's a good kit to have. So really you kind of have only like, we are kind of using only like maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I plus the mist is like 7 products. 7 products plus 1 more the stick foundation if you want a more coverage, more made up look, and that's what, $16, and I think it can support this hobby for quite a while. So thank you for being with me today. I hope you have enjoyed the tutorial. I don't know, this kind of mixture thing, it's nice to reminisce of the good old days of not being able to afford makeup. So I think that's why this whole Daiso thing is so alluring, because it makes me remember when I didn't have a lot of money to buy all this, and if only I had Daiso then, I would have been there every single week. But, well, okay, regression to teenage years. So I hope you're enjoying your final day of rest at the moment. I hope the new term will be a little bit less crazy, and being the final term, it should start to end off. Things should start to end off well, and I hope to see you soon, meet up a little, have a gathering and stuff, and I hope this has been helpful to anybody else who's watching this. Alright, thank you, and I'll see you soon.